Wadau, kuna hii story nimeona imekuwa ikiendelea about NHIf, that the government intends to actually change from NHIf to SHIF, something like that. And to me, it doesn't add up. So here is a precise debate. Sorry, it is a one-sided debate on why the government should not change NHIf to SHIF. Now, the first time I saw of it, I've been sort of sitaki kusikia news za gava and all that. I don't want to hear about discussions from the government side of view. So I had heard about it severally. They are changing from NHIf to SHIF and all that, but I didn't actually try to follow up the story until time niliona the president talking about it in the Wilson Kiprugut Stadium. And that is the time I had to sit down and ask myself, what is it about this NHIf to SHIF thing? Well, the question is, does the government have to sink NHIf to create SHIF? The answer is very simple. To me, it doesn't make sense for a government to destroy existing infrastructure to create new infrastructure. I mean, for example, ati gava inataka kujenga shule kole na kuna ka primary school mahali fulani wanafungako ka primary school, yeah, so that they can create a vocational training. It doesn't make sense. And to me, and this coming from a point of information, because I'm one who has been working in a hospital, NHIf was doing a very a good job. I can't say a very good job because of course there has been mishaps and all that, but NHIf was serving people very well, except for one thing, and that thing is corruption. By the way, NHIf was doing a very good job ukitoa tu corruption, and corruption in cases like unapata umekuwa ukilipa NHIf, unaenda unaambiwa sijui nini. So it just needed the systems to be properly streamlined for the thing to work wonders. By the way, that was all NHIf needed. And up to date, if NHIf systems could just be streamlined, it would not need a total overhauling like we are hearing about from the government's stories. The question is, NHIf had a very well structured way of operations, very well planned SOPCs. To those who don't understand SOPCs, they're actually standards of operation procedures. SOPCs, rather SOPs for some SOPCs and all that, whichever you want to call it. But why does the government have to change it totally to SHIF? It doesn't make sense to me. I know there's all these stories about inclusivity, the government will be paying for this and that and all that. We are going to include the disabled, those who cannot be able to afford to pay. And why didn't the government incorporate that within NHIf? It's not like that would have been impossible. They just needed to streamline the SOPs. They just needed to streamline the regulations and incorporate them within NHIf. They didn't need to overhaul it totally and create a whole new organization. But the question is, why did the government decide to go the extra cost? Because every time you hear something new is going to come up, it means that there is going to be an extra cost that the government is going to have to go through. It means they're going to hire out new offices, they are going to hire new staff, and every time there is hiring of staff, there is money for hiring. Yeah, there is money for buying new equipment. There is money that is going to be used to change systems. There's all sorts of procurements that the government will need to do to change from NHIf to SHIF. They're even talking about recruiting staff. They're saying some of the staff in NHIf are going to be incorporated in SHIF. Others are not going to be. It's going to be a total new recruitment. The question is, what is happening that the government has to totally overhaul NHIf? See, over the last few weeks, NHIF operations have been getting disrupted over time. Sijui kama wewe umeenda Hosi ukiwa msik alafu unaenda unaambiwa systems za NHIF ziko down, haziwork. But I want to tell the people the truth, that this thing is going to become one of the major scams that are going to rock the Kenya Kwanza government. And why am I saying that it is going to be a scam? Number one, if anybody can remember, there is a certain death that is associated with an NHIf official. Somewhere too. The question is, during that time, by the way, many of us couldn't really connect. But now, things are starting to fall into place that this is something that was already in place. And by the way, unajua hii story imepangwa within less than 4 months. Wamekaa chini, wamediscuss, they've even come with systems and how to do it, It's, by the way, to me, it has been done so hurriedly. Sijui what your opinions are. And it's a good idea that you share your opinions in the comment section. But the question is, what is the hurry about? Here is the truth. The truth of the matter is that NHIf is going to close offices. But the truth of the matter is that SHIF is also going to be starting on a new clean slate. And people will be asking me, new clean slate aje na tumekuwa tukilipa NHIf pesa zetu zitakuwa zimeenda wapi, unatuchocha and all that, money will be, And of course, the government is going to have to come up with a way of streamlining it so that it changes from NHIf to SHIF. I'm really waiting to see how they are going to change that from that leaf to the other. But there's a very good chance that a lot of money is going to be stolen from NHIf. A lot of resources are going to be stolen from NHIf. And then NHIf is going to be the biggest scandal that any Kenyan can ever imagine. And there will be nowhere you can go to report, because utaenda kureport NHIf wapi? Where are their offices? Where are their employees? You cannot start saying, a person A or B was an employee, let us report them to the ethics and anti-corruption. Even if you do that, it becomes a case that can go on and on forever and ever in the law courts, especially in the rigged judicial system that is the Republic of Kenya. To the President of the Republic of Kenya, William Samoei Arap Ruto, and the Deputy, Rigathi Gachagua. We didn't need, I know that my input is rather insignificant. But to me, I really wish that you did not decide to totally overhaul NHIf to SHIf. There is a way that you could have worked out these things to streamline NHIf to serve a better purpose and to serve its mandate, inclusive of all those other things that you wanted. NHIf was started as part of UHC for every Kenyans. And all these other ideas that you are coming up are not new. They are not even alien to the former government's plans. They just needed to be embedded and incorporated within NHIf. I don't know what you guys are playing at, but I know it is shady. Why I know it is shady, I don't also know. But you need to get serious with Kenyans. We cannot always be chasing wild goose. We cannot always be facing hot air. We cannot always be operating like this. It is seeming like your government is now a very incompetent government. A government that cannot build on pre-existing infrastructure, pre-existing resources. We cannot operate like that. We cannot continue to operate like that. I wish that you guys are going to change and operate in a transparent manner, in a manner that is people-centered, and in a manner that is centered on saving the resources of Kenyans. Because all this money, all these costs are not going to be footed by anybody else other than the pockets of Kenyans. The taxes, the deductions, all that money is going to be footed by those sources of funds. The question is, why are you doing this? I don't know whether SHIF is going to work, or whether it is going to be as rocked by corruption as NHIf was and still is. But the problem we are facing in government institutions and in government corporations is corruption. In fact, for example, if you removed corruption from NHIf, Kenyans don't need to be suffering about things like hospital bills. They don't need to be struggling with that. But Kenyans have never complained. They have been resilient, even when they go to hospitals and they are told that NHIf cannot cover a certain imaging, NHIf cannot cover buying certain drugs, you need to go back to your pockets. Kenyans haven't really raised any substantial or ostensible complaints. But you need to understand that the more you push a fearless man to the wall, he will retaliate. And even the most worrisome the most worrisome person, hata yule mtu ambaye ana uoga kabisa, ukimfikisha kwa ukuta, that person might decide to retaliate. I hope Kenyans will never have to retaliate on any of you. I wish you well, and I hope to see Kenya working for the people, because by the end of the day, this is our motherland and this is our republic. Let the republic work for the people of the republic. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Don't forget to follow me on TikTok at Kenya TV. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter at Paul Kursh. Paul Kursh. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram and Facebook at Paul Kuria. That is my page, and I wish you all the best. Good night.